All right, Martina, I think we just lost you. We apologize for that. We'll try to get her back in just a moment. Now, Premier Li is expected to give a speech later this afternoon. It'll be very interesting to see what he has to say, and I'm sure there'll be a very big audience for that. Now, the business world is abuzz with the other big story, which is Alibaba's IPO that's happening here in the United States. And that's inspiring potentially more and more foreign companies to try to list in New York. But while many of them are drawn to the U.S. stock exchanges, some say there's reason for concern. Our very own Tracy Tandon has more on this.
E-commerce giant Alibaba is the latest Chinese company that decided to go public in New York. It joins a slew of Chinese firms like Weibo, JD.com, and Cheetah Mobile that have all listed on a U.S. stock exchange. Based on the paperwork filed to U.S. regulators, a total of around 15 foreign companies have filed applications to list on the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ later this year. That makes 2014 the busiest year for foreign IPOs in almost 20 years. Former Apple CEO John Sculley says prestige and looser regulations make the U.S. an appealing destination for foreign companies.
First of all, it's a recognition of world importance for these Chinese companies, and there's a great deal of prestige attached to it. And the U.S. Regulations are quite different than, say, Hong Kong, where it is possible for founders to actually have a two-vote structure, and that's appealing, and it works in our country because we allow class action litigation, which is not possible in other markets.
U.S. stock exchanges allow company executives and insiders to own less than half the company's stock and still exercise control over the firm. Many foreign firms are also exempt from some disclosure requirements that are compulsory for U.S. companies. Looser U.S. regulations have some investors concerned about the Alibaba IPO, especially when it comes to the way the company is run.
You're really investing in what's called a variable interest access structure, which means that you're not really owning the company, you're owning the profits from the company. And it is somewhat opaque in terms of how governance is handled inside of the company. Jack Ma, the founder, has a tremendous amount of power in terms of what he can do. He may own 10% of the company, but he actually has control of the votes of the company. So these are things which I think the investors are going to want to get comfortable with.
Despite the concerns, Wall Street is eager to host one of the world's fastest growing companies in the world's fastest growing economy. For many, Alibaba's September 19th IPO day can't come soon enough. Tracy Tandon, CCTV, New York.